A long time ago, somewhere in the remote place in Bangalore, did I say the remote place? Forgive my grammar. A remote place in Bangalore, a boy was about to be born. While his mother howled and screamed in pain, his father on a scooter braved the rain. Okay, spectacularly failed at that rhyming joke, but yeah. And so he had to wade his way through the dark forest and the dark forces of Sauron and 10,000 orcs. Yeah, he had to. Thank you. I know I have already made an arrangement with you all, but you're not believing this story, right? You're not. You think this is nonsense? This guy is just here. Oh, he's some actor. He's coming here. But really, it's a true story. I had a very regular birth, very regular, normal, in a very normal hospital, in a normal ward, to a normal mother, and my father didn't have to, cross the burning fires of Mordor to see the, birth of his only child. Yeah, only child. Yeah. So it was, my parents were born in Coorg, so if you all know where that is, it's called Kodagu also. And we are Kodavas, and when I was born in 1978, which is a really long time ago, so we were generally known as the Kurgi people, martial race, so they are like like in the army, or they are sportsmen, they play hockey and all that. But then the unusual thing about my parents then was that they really loved Hindi music, and my mother was like an actress. She used to perform a lot on stage, and I was brought up in this environment, listening to a Hindi song playing all the time on our deck, or my dad would be singing it. So they were really into this. So I was automatically, I don't know how, but I sort of got into this whole performing thing. And in school, I went to a convent school called Cluny Convent, and I used to always be performing. And I think I was 5 or 6 years old, and I used to do this thing called The Old Woman and the Chili Plant. Now, it's about a chili plant and an old woman who wants to harvest some chili, and the chili plant says, no, don't pluck me, don't pluck me. And some story I can't really remember, but then this is what, and it was a really popular show because everybody used to call me. It lasted about 18 minutes, and so this is what I was doing, and I was growing watching my mother perform on stage, and she was a fine actress, and I sort of started living in this imaginary world. I mean, I was really young, and then I saw this. My dad used to have a lot of tapes in the house, and one of them was like. Yadon Ki Barat, and has Dharminder in it, and he had a really sort of a macho poster of him, holding like a chaku and like in tight clothes and all that. And I was taking the flights of imagination. I would imagine myself to be, like Dharminder, but not quite. But in posters, romancing a girl and looking really strong and macho and all that. So this is the world I was growing up in. And I remember telling one of my neighbors, we used to go to school together. So there were 3 girls, and we were walking, and we had seen Guide the day before. So we were talking about the movie. Oh, really nice songs, bade achhe gaane hain. Guide Devanand, kitna handsome hai ye wo, hairstyle and all that. So then I told them, like like Devanand, I'm going to be an actor someday. And she was like, yeah, right. Have you seen your face and all that? Yeah. You can't. So that was the last time I told anybody that I wanted to be an actor. I didn't. I was like, नहीं भाई, ऐसे लोगों के सामने ऐसे बेइज्जती नहीं करानी है. I mean, maybe I couldn't, and I was really struck. I was too young. I didn't really know what it was. I just wanted to be. And you live in a fantasy world. You're living with a romanticized idea of what acting is, what is being acting in films. And I was all that. I wanted to be a movie star. I wanted to have big posters of my, billboards or hoardings, as we'd like to call it. So I was living in that world. And I went to high school. I went to an all boys school called St. Joseph's. And it was a really nice time because I was traveling away from home. I had new friends, and we were all boys. And yes, the only guy who actually had the balls to play lady parts. Sorry, did I say lady parts? That didn't sound right. Ladies roles was me. I did some 3 plays or 3 short skits, or like you would call it, and I did that, and I played a woman in every one of those. I used to get my bottom pinched in school by all the senior boys, because I looked so good in a sari. So yeah, so I was still, I was slipping into this imaginary world. I had no real idea of what the real world is like, and everything was in my imagination. And I had heard stories from my grandfather about the Ramayana and Mahabharata. So I was Arjun, I was I was, Bhim and all those things, and I used to play those parts on my own. As I'm an only child, so I lived pretty much in my imagination. And my imagination, now this is an important thing, you will understand later how this is relevant, that my imagination is relevant when I discuss about my craft and my work. So, I'm losing the plot right now. Okay, where was I? What was I talking about? Okay, about imagination and all that. So I went to, then I did pretty okay in school. Then I went to pre-university, which is +2 for some people, 11th, 12th. I went to pre-university, and by now I completely lost it. I had no interest. I was an average student, but I was not interested. I was struggling with myself. I was struggling with this whole question, what I want to do and all that. And I was not particularly doing well, but I was popular because I was performing in front of people. I was a shy boy with a pimply face and all that. But then when I went on, I completely forgot all those things, and I was just, I was able to be myself. And there were a bunch of girls who used to wait outside the gate just to see me enter because they liked some mime show that I did, and I was so shy, I was walking like that. But they would say, hello, good morning, how are you? And they used to just stand there to talk to me. But I was so confused, I didn't know what I was going to do. And yes, so I got 53% or something in my second PUC exam. So there was no chance that I was going to like do any sort of like engineering or something like that. And I was really struggling with who I was and what I am and what I want to be. And I wanted to be an actor. I couldn't tell anybody what I was going to do. And then it's just like from 96 onwards, with great difficulty, I gave the supplementary exam, I passed. And then I went to this phase called hibernation from 96 to 2000. Where I discovered I was good at one other thing. I could draw and paint quite well. So somebody suggested, why don't you try fashion? So I went into the fashion school, I joined NIFT, and I did pretty good. By now I had discovered something which a lot of people also discovered, called cable TV. So yeah, so before it was all Arnold films or Jackie Chan films and all that. Now suddenly on television I was watching these movies where I saw a film called French Connection. I saw Gene Hackman, and I was like, my goodness, who's this guy? Why is he so different? As in, he's like the hero of the film, but then like our guys are not like him. What is he doing that's different? He feels so believable. He's so real, you know. Like all that he's going through is so real. And then I saw a film called Cape Fear that had Bob, Robert De Niro. And I was completely, he's a personal friend of mine. So, yeah. So, Bobby is, so I was completely, because I wanted to be a hero. I like Dharminder, I like Shah Rukh Khan. But I would look in the mirror and I was like, see, I don't know, I was not confident of myself. Like, I don't have that, I don't look good doing this. I don't. So then I was thinking like, but then I was in confusion right now, like what do I do? Then in 98 there was this film called Satya, Ram Gopal Verma, a very important person for the film industry. So then he made Satya, and then I saw Satya and like I saw Manoj Bajpayee and I was like, this is it. I mean, these are like believable characters, like our guys are also doing this, and it was such a huge success. So I knew that there may be a place for me somewhere in the film industry if I somehow figure out how to get into it, to do something. So I started, again I was living in this imaginary world, so I would imagine my own films, the one was called Atank. It was of this young boy who was 20 something, he was vegetating in the house and his father would always say, kya kar raha hai tu apni zindagi ke saath, बेवकूफ लड़का है ये, कोई उम्मीद नहीं है ये वो फलाना. And then he hears about this monkey man incident in Delhi, and he lives somewhere in the middle of the city. So he has some Mausaji who lives in the outskirts where this monkey man is really like terrorizing everybody. So he goes there to catch the monkey man. Then मैं पकड़ूंगा monkey man को, I'll prove myself. So this story, this was the character that I created, the role of the leading man, and I used to sit and fantasize that I'm in this movie, I'm doing this. So thanks to Satya and thanks to Ram Gopal Verma and Manoj Bajpayee, I sort of, in my imagination, found a place as an actor. But I had no idea how to go about it, because I had no understanding of the craft, and I was like, how to make it more real, how to make it more believable, and I was really struggling with it until, until finding Duryodhan. Yeah, this happened. Why find Duryodhan? Find Ram, no. Find Arjun, no. Find Bhim, no. Why Duryodhan? Like Duryodhan is like this. Anyway, so these are the questions that maybe some people ask me. But then this is very relevant to me, because I started doing, after I did fashion, I started doing English theatre at an amateur level. I met a lot of people who also exposed me, like a group called Forum 3 and then BLT, and then I worked with Harami Theatre. Sorry, it's a curse word, but then it's a theatre group, it's a very good one. Yeah. So I worked with them and I started realizing that acting is a craft. There is more to acting than what it seemed, because I was having all these questions when I watched Gene Hackman's performance or Manoj Bajpayee's performance and all that with NSD, and they had this training, but I had no understanding of what acting is. So I like, I am interested in it, but then I don't know that it's a craft, that you can practice it like it's a thing. Like you have an athlete is born so there's a boy who can run really fast, but then if he trains how to run really fast, then he can become an Olympian and like a gold medalist. He can be a world champion like Usain Bolt. So you have the talent, but then you have to. I had this thing that I need to explore more and have an understanding. So I would read books about everything, and also working in theatre in Bangalore, I would attend workshops and I would meet people. I would talk to them. I would watch performances by like really accomplished actors like Adil Hussain and Vinay Kumar from Adi Shakti. And these people had a profound impact on me and on performance, on being on stage, and what an actor's life is and what an actor's process is. So I was sort of finding my own sort of method in this, and I did a play which was written by the late poet Kuvempu, who is a very famous and a fine writer in Kannada. He had written a play called Smashana Kurukshetra. So we were doing an English translation of that called Kurukshetra Burning, and I was playing Duryodhan in it. And I had like it was just one scene, I was there, and by now I sort of realized that there was a process to acting. So I would do a very martial arts sort of inspired warm-up routine with like a stick and wearing my dhoti, really short one and all that. So I would do that to sort of get that warrior thing. And I would do this on my own, on my side. Then I would sit in a quiet place and listen to the entire play where they said Duryodhan this, Duryodhan that, Duryodhan this. So I just tried to sort of make it truthful, and then I would come on stage and I performed the scene and people enjoyed it. After that play, I had this confidence that, that I have some understanding of the craft. I think I can sort of succeed as an actor, and I can do something with it. Again, I'm doing this mistake. Okay. And so, in 2008, 12th of August 2008, I moved to Mumbai from Bangalore. I was working as a fashion designer in Bangalore, and I wound up everything. I said, I have a one-track mind. I will go there. I had some money in my bank, so it was a safety net. I said, I'm going to Mumbai, and I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm going to try that for 2 years. Nothing happens, I can always come back, and I had a reasonably successful career as a fashion designer. I was teaching, and I was also like, freelancing with other people. And my parents didn't really depend on me depend on me monetarily. So I went there with this newfound process, this understanding, which is why it's finding Duryodhan. And this audition process, I was like, I wouldn't go. I was a bit like, okay, I'm not going to go for every audition, because when I went there, I saw everybody looked alike, everybody dressed alike. I said, okay, fine, I'm going to keep myself away from this. I don't want to be aloof or sort of like, arty-farty, but then I just would go and give auditions only when I felt like I would go. And unfortunately for me, in 2009, I got a part in this film called That Girl in Yellow Boots. Mr. Anurag Kashyap, another very significant person in my life, he gave me my first break. And people who watched that film, then I got another part. In 2011, I had 3 films released, which was Damarodam was first, I had a small part in that, and Shaitan, and then That Girl in Yellow Boots. And I knew while shooting Shaitan that this is going to make a difference for me. And then, and ever since then, I completely lost the plot again. Okay, so now I'd like to, since it's 2:48, this clock is really throwing me off. Yeah, so since I want to talk a little bit about the process of acting and what it's like. I learned a lot of things by exposing myself to traditional folk theatre like Kudiyattam, and I didn't do it, but then I saw people perform it, and the use of breath and the use of the body, different levels of tension. Now, the reason why I am saying this is that, there is a certain process, there is a method that every actors have, and I found my own method, which I call finding Duryodhan. Now, Duryodhan, as you all know, is like a bad guy, but for me, he's a guy who had a lot of potential to be, Duryodhan is grey, because for me, human beings are grey. The color of human beings is grey, and whenever I have an approach to I read a script and I find like the character, I try to find their weaknesses, their faults, because I think that makes it more relatable to us. Like if somebody has, so I wanted to create a relatable character, so then I would learn some breathing breath technique. For example, if you wanted to look really heroic, so you would stand. So the in-breath and the out-breath is of the same time. So your in-breath and the out-breath is just equal. Or if you're scared, so you do mouth breathing. You just breathe from your mouth. So if it doesn't have to be an emotion, it can be different techniques. So this process I started applying in my roles, and this is my own process. I'm not saying that everybody worked like this, but this is something that I discovered from my years in theater, doing amateur theater, and just learnt it, and I started applying them in things. And also I steal. I see other actors, I'm like Irfan Khan in Hasil, I remember I saw him and I really liked him and I stole him. I did one play called Manish the Legend, so I completely like stole. I didn't look anything like Irfan Khan, thank God for that, because then it would be mimicking him, but then I steal ideas. There was another fine actor called Nagesh Bhosle, so who I saw performing in a play, and that girl in Yellow Boots, the part mine called Chitiappa, did I pronounce it right? Yes. So it's completely a take on how he was on stage, a sort of laziness in what he did, his gesticulation, very minimalistic sort of a thing. So for me, I really wanted to be an actor. I didn't know how to do it, and it all sort of happened as magic for me coming to Mumbai. There's another story that I want to tell you. The first thing that I started in Mumbai was a play called Hamlet the Clown Prince. Now that was being directed by Rajat Kapoor. On the very second day of my arrival in Mumbai, I went to to the rehearsals and I told him that I want to be part of the play, and he was very graciously welcomed me. For 2 weeks I toiled because I had this newfound confidence after this play that I had done and all that. So I thought I will be successful, but I failed so miserably. After 2 weeks he came and told me, Gulshan, this is not working here. This is not working because time's up, it's okay, I'm going to take a few more minutes. So then I was devastated, and after 2 weeks, and we were sitting and we were having like a casual sort of chai break and all that, and I wanted to cry. For 2 hours I sat there and I really wanted to weep and I wanted to cry because it was the first job and the first thing I've come to try and make a life for myself in Mumbai, and I failed. I failed miserably. I was feeling like a complete failure. But I went back. I said, okay, I'm not as an actor. I'll keep doing something for you. So then they allowed me to operate the lights. I didn't know what to do, but I learned how to do it. And then I suppose that is my seize the day moment. That was a really crucial turning point for me in my life. That particular day, I was so low, I cried my eyes out when I went back home. But I decided that I was adamant that I was going to make something out of it and not waste that opportunity. So, and then from one thing to the other, it just went on. So, I am an actor. Yes, I am not a star, or I am not very accomplished. I'm not a thespian, and girls don't send me naked pictures of theirs on Facebook. And actually, they do send me some. Yeah, a few pictures. I delete them. I delete them. I also unfriend them. Yeah, I totally. Yeah. So, but I am an actor, and this is what I do, and this is what I love. I totally love what I do. Thank you very much for listening to me.